How do I get a VHF radio license? If you are a boat owner and want to use a very high-frequency radio, you might be wondering how to get the necessary license. It is important to know the requirements to operate your radio legally and safely. The process can vary based on where you are and the type of boating you do. First, let's talk about the types of licenses you may need. The ship station license is for the vessel itself. This license allows your boat to have and use radio equipment legally. In some countries, like the United Kingdom, this license is required for any vessel with a marine very high-frequency radio on board. Then there is the operator's license or permit. This is often needed for the person using the radio, especially if you plan to dock in foreign ports or communicate with foreign coast stations. For example, in the United States, if you only use very high frequencies domestically, you do not need an individual operator permit. Now, let's look at the licensing requirements by region. In the United States, since 1996, most recreational boaters do not need an individual ship station license from the Federal Communications Commission to operate a very high-frequency radio if they stay within domestic waters. However, if your vessel is 65 feet or longer, if you travel to foreign ports, or if you use other types of marine radios, you will need a ship station license. If you travel internationally or communicate with foreign stations, you must also obtain a restricted radio telephone operator permit. In the United Kingdom and many other countries, you typically need both a ship station license and an operator's license. The ship station license is issued by the National Communications Authority, such as Ofcom in the United Kingdom. You must have a valid license on board to avoid fines or penalties. So, how do you obtain these licenses? For the ship station license, you apply through the relevant national authority, like the Federal Communications Commission in the United States or Ofcom in the United Kingdom. The application usually involves filling out specific forms and paying a fee. This license is tied to your vessel and the radio equipment installed. It cannot be transferred if the boat is sold or if the radio is moved to another vessel. If you need an operator's license or permit, this often involves passing an assessment or examination to show you can operate marine radios. Training courses are available to help you prepare for this. After you pass, the license or permit is issued. As a practical tip, always ensure your vessel has the appropriate ship station license before using a very high-frequency radio. If you plan to charter boats, especially in places like the Mediterranean, charter companies often requiring proof of a valid very high-frequency radio license. Having a license allows you to communicate clearly with other boats and coast guards, receive important weather updates, and send distress signals if needed. Be aware that operating without a license can lead to fines, confiscation of radio equipment, or even imprisonment, depending on the laws in your area. It can also cause interference with other marine communications, which can be dangerous. To sum it up, to get a very high-frequency radio license, you need to apply for the ship station license through your country's communications authority. If required, you will also need to obtain an operator's license by completing any necessary training or assessments. Always check the specific regulations that apply to your boating area to ensure you are compliant and can communicate safely on the water.